well, like all Bay Area transit agencies, SFMTA is working to recover from the pandemic. It's also looking towards safety improvements and future projects. And one project that's raising concerns is the new bike lanes in the Mission. The Valencia Street bike lanes were installed 5 months ago between 15th and 23rd Streets with the goal of improving traffic and pedestrian safety. But the project, didn't just realign the bike lanes to the middle of the street. It also shifted traffic lanes and took parking away to create loading zones. The city is still analyzing data on whether this configuration actually works, but business owners tell us they already know it does not for bikes or cars. They say it is hurting their bottom line.
There is no clear left. There is no clear U-turn. The other cars are very confused. So you are putting yourself in a big, and once you put yourself in that position and you put yourself in danger, you don't want to come back.
The SFMTA says average daily bike volume is estimated to be 3% higher. They were supposed to release the initial findings on the pilot project in November, but that's been pushed back to next month. And joining me today is Jeff Tumlin, the Director of Transportation for SMTA. And Jeff, the Valencia was always just kind of a new way of looking at an old problem. But at this point, are you ready to cut bait? Are you ready to move forward? What's Valencia looking like now?
Well, right now we're still looking at the data. So we're tracking a whole lot of data, including safety data for all modes, what people think of the street, economic performance from the small merchants. And we're putting that data together now and are expecting to go to the SFMTA board for a first presentation on the data that we've got next month.
There are concerns from some small business owners. What is your response to them?
So we are tracking small business performance very closely. We have two primary goals for this project. One, make the streets safer, particularly for people on foot and on bikes, and two, support what's one of the most amazing retail districts in the city. And in order to respond to that, we need to see the data and also the comparative data. How does Valencia economic performance compare to Mission or to downtown merchants? Because we want to make sure that we're looking at causation, not just correlation.
Not just reaction, emotional reactions, of course. Street safety and Vision Zero, what about the move to ban right-hand turns on red lights? Where do you stand on that, or where does the city stand on that?
Well, so the San Francisco Board of Supervisors unanimously passed a resolution urging the SFMTA to ban right turn on red lights citywide. We are working on that incrementally, also collecting data. So right turn on red is banned throughout the Tenderloin right now, and we're collecting data to see how effective is that effort compared to other things that we can be doing with our very limited staff time and budget.
Sure. When did that start in the Tenderloin?
That started just this year, and so we're collecting the data closely. And this year, we're expanding no right turn on red into most of the downtown.
Okay. And where are you in terms of ridership right now, post-pandemic? What about funds and budget? You mentioned that you guys are on a very tight budget right now. How's it looking for SFMTA?
Yeah, so the COVID aftermath has upset our whole financial model. So our transit fare revenue is down just over 50%. Our parking revenue is down about 12%. About a quarter of my budget comes from short-term state, federal, and regional relief funds. So we need a new revenue model, or we need to dramatically cut back everything that we're doing. So we're working with the state legislature and the federal government to identify new ways of funding transit throughout the region. Meanwhile, our ridership is booming.
Oh, is it? Okay, wow.
Yes. So this is one of the funny things in San Francisco. So in the city in the world with arguably the greatest amount of work from home that has made the financial district, pretty empty during at least, work periods, we are seeing the highest rate of ridership in our neighborhood lines than we're seeing in any city in the United States. The 49 Van Ness along the Van Ness busway, that is up, depending upon the day of the week, up to 140% of pre-COVID ridership.
Wow.
22 Fillmore, running up and down Fillmore Street and out 16th to Mission Bay, also where we've made major transit improvements, up to about 130% of pre-COVID ridership, because we're focused on making Muni fast, frequent, reliable, clean, and safe.
I was going to say those bus lanes probably help, right?
The bus lanes, we're getting between about a 12 to up to a 30% improvement in speed and reliability, where we've built, we've built just over 20 miles of new transit-only lanes during COVID.
In this area where the downtown is still struggling, are you surprised by those numbers?
We are getting, our ridership projections are breaking, or actual ridership is breaking all projections. Wow. We didn't think this level of transit ridership was possible, but it shows just how quickly people respond when you make transit service fast and reliable and clean and safe.
Okay, so any other projects we can expect, especially coming up here in 2024?
Well, so we're going to be continuing to focus on what we call our high injury network. So the streets in San Francisco where we see a disproportionate number of injuries. So we've have a pretty simple toolkit that is demonstrated to make those streets safer. We're going to build that out. We've also got a bunch of bike and pedestrian projects that we'll be rolling out, including making a connection from Golden Gate Park via Great Highway and Sloat and Skyline and all the way around Lake Merced, creating a path network for the whole western part of San Francisco, which has been a major source of visitor attraction across the city. And of course, upgrading our traffic signals in order to make sure that traffic for cars can continue to flow smoothly and also prioritize emergency service response.
All right, well, always good information. So Jeff Tumlin with SFMTA, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you, sir.